Hello everyone, my name's Steve Simpson and I'm a mind coach and author, and I do various other things as well. But anyway, whatever, thank you for finding this channel, and I've got a story for you today from Aesop, and it'll be very interesting to see what we all make of it, because I've got quite a lot of doubts about this one, but I'm going to give it a go. And it's the curious story of the charcoal burner and the fuller. And I think I'll probably better explain a little bit what these two particular professions are. Charcoal burning is from, I guess, people who live in the forest or close to the forest, and they cut down wood and partially burn it in a particular way that makes this black stuff called charcoal that artists will use in their work, or that can be used on fires, and it'll burn a lot longer than wood. A fuller, had to look this one up because I've heard of fuller's earth and things like that, but I really didn't know very much about it, and I still don't. But in summary, fuller's earth is contains, I think, some aluminium silicates or something like that, and throughout history it's been known that it has bleaching properties, and so a fuller would make clothes white, or perhaps make a particular paste that would be applied to houses and to make them look white, a sort of a whitewash that people would apply to their buildings. Anyway, here we back to Aesop, who lived 2,500 years ago, and this is the story that he told. Well, in the same village there lived a charcoal burner and a fuller, and they got to know each other well, and they became friends of a sort. And one day the charcoal burner said, why don't you move into my house, because we get on well, and it means we can share the rent and all of the living expenses, and it will be fun. And the fuller said, without very much hesitation, he said, well, thank you very much for your generous offer, and I do enjoy your company. But you see, I spend my life making things white, and you spend your life making things black. And so that just wouldn't work. And that's the end of the story. So what do we make of it? I guess, as always, we can make of it what we want. A thought that occurs to me, just to kick off the discussion, is when I worked in hospitals, recruiting medical staff and doing things like that, I must have interviewed certainly into the hundreds, perhaps the thousands of people over the years. So I had plenty of experience of interviewing people. Now, whether it was good experience is a different question. But the strange thing is, and you'll have heard this before, sometimes when somebody walks in through the door, you know immediately that's the person that you want, and you don't know why. And very often that's the person that gets hired. But fortunately not always, because that is not a way that I would recommend that that anybody hires staff. And the reason is what has been called the horns and halo effect. And halo are the saints, and generally speaking we consider ourselves to be saintly in some small way, and we like people who are like us by and large. I know these are generalizations, and the horns is the horns of the devil, and they're the people that we don't like, and the chances are that they're going to be very opposite to us. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that we're better and they're worse, but that's just the way our reptile brains think. And here was the charcoal burner and the fuller, and whilst they got on with each other, they knew that it wasn't right that they would share the same house. Now, in business, if you only employ people who are like you are going to miss out on a huge amount of very talented people who think differently to you, and surprise, surprise, sometimes they're going to think an awful lot better than you, and you can't afford not to have people like that in your team. So what I learned over the years, and I saw it work in practice, is that when you're putting a team together, try and get as many different sorts of people as you can, and some of them you won't particularly resonate with, but that doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's the job that gets done that counts. So, horns or halo, how does that fit into your world? Let me know, it'd be interesting to find out. Goodbye, and thanks again for supporting the channel.